we have packaged a lot of things together here. It might take you just a little while to go through it. It took us a little while to put together. So anyway, I don't know if you want to just take this and you go to your room and go through it, or do you want us to try to answer questions and just go through it individually for you, however you want to do it?
Why don't we just go ahead and go through package A right now, and then we have questions while we're going through it. Then you guys are available to answer the questions. The one thing that I think we do need to have some clarity in regards to the first item for the Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism. The assumption was that we were going to have the Claims Against the State Bill 159 used either as a vehicle or inserted into the budget bill, and so the assumption was to put that item in there because that's the only difference that we have with Claims Against the State. This is not technically in the House budget bill, item number 1. So we've talked to research and revisors and staff, and so item number 1 at the very top is going to be stricken and will not be included in the budget because we will be having conference on Senate Bill 159 at a later date. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that as well.
Thank you. We'll scratch that. Okay, I'll just I'll go over the offer here. On page 1, okay. Okay, here, page 1, item number 2, then education, item 1, Senate. The House modified on Pittsburgh, number 1, Pittsburgh University. The House modified, we accept that.
So are they looking at the package? Or are they looking
Well, I've got to go down the sheet till we get to the package.
Didn't we already agree to that?
Right, I just. Okay, then on item number 1, Board of Regents, that's in the package on the white sheet.
So I have a question about this. Your position on package A for that item says concur with the House and add the funding and then review it omnibus.
Correct.
But if we add the funding
We are
now,
going to give you the funding, but we want to look at it at omnibus and see if the amounts are correct or not. There was a little bit of question on that, whether the 2.1 was the exact number, the right number.
okay.
And when we get to 2022, I think we did the same thing. So anyway, we want to look at it at omnibus. I mean, what we're agreeing with you on the funding, okay? But at omnibus, we want to look at this again. Okay. Let's see. Next item we'd have is at the bottom. Judicial branch at the bottom. We're going to stay with Senate position on that. Right. Okay, on the first page on the judicial, if you accept the Senate position, we're Senate position, we want to look at that at omnibus, which is all of our raises have been pushed to omnibus. So if you do accept that, that is review at omnibus, okay? Page 2, State Board Bank Commission. Our offer is to delete the 141,227, all from special revenue funds, to remove the proposed salary adjustments for fiscal year 2021 to be reviewed at omnibus. And this state bank commission, this is a merit-based increase, and that's why we wanted to look at it at omnibus. Okay, moving down to the Kansas Department for Aging and Disability Services. Item number 1, add 49.8 million, including 19.9 million SGF, to provide for a $20 increase for the daily reimbursement rate for the nursing facilities for 178 days in fiscal year 2021. This recommendation is to continue the daily rate increase provided due to the COVID-19 pandemic for the remainder of the calendar year 2020. The Senate will concur with the modified House position and review at omnibus. Okay, they didn't put it on the sheet. We're giving you House modified here at $15 instead of 20. I guess. Okay, item number 2, Kansas Department for Aging and Disability Services. We're going to make the same offer at $15. Okay, moving down to item number 5. You had a House modified of 5.5 and 2.5 SGF. We're proposing a trade on that in 2022. Okay, on number 11, we would take yours if you would take ours for 2022, which would add 31 million, including 12.4 from SGF.
Just a second, Representative Wolfmore.
Senator, would you mind repeating that trade again, that offer.
Okay, on page 2, under the Kansas Department of Aging and Disability Services, number 5, you had offered a house modified of 5.5, including 2.5 SGF. And we would accept that if you would accept our position on number 11, page 8. Which adds the 31 million, including 12.4 SGF.
In here, so it's not a one-for-one, so you put it in a package.
Okay, so
Representative Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'm not finding it on here.
Right, so you put it in that package. So it's this one right here. So it's just bigger packages.
Okay. My numbers aren't all lining up here, so I apologize. So on your white sheet, be the 5th item down, which would be number 2, Kansas Department of Aging and Disability Service, the KDADS. Okay. The item number 5, you see the 5 on there? Okay. Item 5, we're adding funding to provide a 5% increase in the provider reimbursement rates for the Medicaid home and community-based service intellectually developmental disabled waiver in 2021. We will concur with the modified House position for 3 months. So we're not trading. I need to scratch that off. Okay, then moving down to other statewide adjustments. Item 1, timeline for repayment of the SGF to pooled money investment to pay back in the 2017 bridge loan. We concur with the House to transfer 66, make it 2 payments. Page 3, second item down. The Highway Patrol, delete 15.3 million off from the Kansas Highway Patrol. We will ask for you to concur with the Senate and delete the funding. So we ask for the Senate position on this one as part of the package. Okay, moving down the page to the Department of Health and Environment. The environment, item number 1. We'd ask that you take the Senate position and add the language with the requirement that the agency find SGF savings, either environmental specialist or an inspection staff position. It's part of the package. No money, just language. Next item down at the bottom, Kansas Water Office. Item number 4, add 850,000 all state water plan fund. We will concur with the House and add this funding, part of the package. Page 4. Department of Education. Item 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will stay with the Senate position. Board of Regents towards the bottom. Item number 1, add 8.3 million all SGF for the Excel and Career Technical Education funding. We will concur with the House and add the funding. And we'd like to also review that at omnibus. So we'll take the House position. Okay. Item number 2, add 1.4 all SGF National Guard Scholarship. We'll concur with the House and add the funding. Board of Regents number 3. Delete 76,770 all SGF from the Board of Regents Administration Program. We'd ask that you concur with the Senate, take the Senate position, and delete the funding and review it omnibus. Board of Regents, item number 4. Add 10 million SGF for the Board of Regents, new need-based aid scholarship and recruitment fund. We would ask you would take the Senate position and not add the funding or the language. Board of Regents number 6 on the next page. Page 5 at the top. Add language not allowing the Board of Regents to transfer funding from the following accounts: tuition for technical education, tiered course credit hourly grant account, and post-secondary tiered technical education aid. We would concur with the House and add the language. Yes. On number 6, we also would like to add language, which I think you had received earlier, but do we have copies for the 4-H mask? Yeah.
Yep, that's at the end for page 6.
Also, it's
Chairman, I have the
Oh, that's
language
later, okay.
on that. I think Representative Wolfmore has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, I just have a process question, so just so I'm following. So is everything you're saying in this, or some in this, and is everything you're going over in the package?
I'm going down anything that we hadn't agreed on earlier. And then whenever it's not on the sheet or in the package, then I'm going to the package. So I'm going both. I'm just going down the sheet, and when I get to that item, if it's on the white sheet, I'm going to the white sheet.
Okay, would you, and maybe they're following better than I am, I'm trying to decide what to mark off and what not, because if it's, all of this is a package,
It's
this
a
is all or
package.
nothing, right?
Right, or you can come back with something else, so.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
that-
if it's not a part of the package, you go over it.
Yeah, so I guess you could just put a P on them items.
And then if it's
Package.
just not on this and it's just a offer, if you would let us know, and then I can mark my sheet appropriately. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
you bet. Do you want me to go back and, you okay? Sorry about that. Okay, so the language is your language, is what we've added there. Okay, the third item down the sheet, post-secondary system-wide, add 24.9 million all SGF to restore the 3% reduction to the Board of Regents at the state universities for 2022. We would ask that you would concur with the Senate position and add the funding. So we'd like the Senate position on that one. That's still on the sheet, but it's on the white sheet too, so. Okay, moving down to the Board of Indigents Defense Service, item number 1, add the 3.9 million all SGF. We will concur with the House and add the funding and the position. Item 2, add the 200,000 all SGF for the purchase and implementation of a case management system. We will concur and give with the House and add the funding. Item number 3, delete the 4.1 million all SGF for the retention and recruitment for fiscal year 2022. We will concur with the House and delete the funding. Board of Pharmacy, item 1. We'd like to take the Senate position on that and not add the funding. We have,
If I could go back to the fourth item on bids, we had a House modified to have that reviewed at omnibus.
we accept that.
You accept that? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I already had it scratched off, sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, Board of Pharmacy, we do not want to add the 145,000 all SGF. Our proposal was using some of the opioid money to fund this, so we would like to keep the Senate position on this and not add that funding.
Okay, so let's back up there on that. The opioid money. Where's that fund at? Is it with the Board of Pharmacy? I mean, where's that fund
It's
at?
in a bill,
What bill?
the AG bill, and I don't think we've worked it. Yeah, well, it hasn't been on the floor in the Senate yet, but it's in a bill, and the amendment was to use part of the funding from that to fund K-Trax.
What's the bill number?
Is that, I don't, House Bill 2412.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, item 2 on Board of Pharmacy. Delete the transfer from the Board of Healing Arts. We concur with we'd ask you would concur with the Senate and do not delete the transfer. So we take the Senate position on that. Towards the bottom, Economic Development Initiative Fund. Delete 1.2 million. Transfer, we would concur and give House position on that. The last item on page 5, Healthcare Stabilization Fund Board. Delete the $33,767, all from special revenue funds. We would ask for the Senate position on that and delete the funding. Page 6, Judicial Branch 2, 3, 4, and 5, Senate position. State Bank Commissioner, it's on the white sheet. We would ask for the Senate position on that one and delete the funding, $303,285. This is a merit raise, and we think it needs to go through the legislature. And we're going to look at it at omnibus, yes. Okay, page 7. Department of Health and Environment, Health. Item number 1, add funding for the local health departments. We're going to concur with the House, add $1 million. Item number 3, add funding for primary health projects from the community-based primary care grants. We're going to concur with the House and add the $2 million. Okay, still on page 7, Department of Health and Environment, Health, item number 4. Add $150,000 all SGF for school-based oral health. We'd take the Senate position to add the funding. Item number 5, add $150,000 all SGF for the trauma program. We would concur with the House and add the $150,000. Item 8, add language, transfer $19 million all SGF, which was included in the governor's recommendation for Medicaid expansion to partially fund the agency's enhancement. and you were wanting to move that to the CHIP program. We will concur with the House and add the language. Item number 10, add language requiring the Kansas Department of Health and Environment to establish a prospective payment system under the Medical Assistance Program for funding certified community behavioral health clinics and submit to the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services any requests necessary to implement this system. We would ask that you concur with the Senate and do not add the language. Item 11, add language to increase the maximum amount allowed for transfers from medical assistance fees funds for the newborn screening. We're going to concur with the House, give the House position. Kansas Department for Aging and Disability Services. Item 1, add $25 million, including $10 million SGF to provide a $10 increase for daily reimbursements. We will concur with the House and do not add the funding. Item number 2, add language directing the agency to make expenditures to lift the moratorium on admissions at any of the state hospitals and directing the agencies shall make no expenditures which impose a moratorium on admission at the state hospitals for fiscal year 2022. We ask you concur with the Senate, take the Senate position and add the language, and we would like to review it at omnibus. Just a little additional information on that moratorium. We'd like to look at this at omnibus because if need be, we could add 3 months to the date. You know, instead of having July 1, we could have October 1. The Secretary was concerned on the timeline, and so this is kind of a meeting in the middle.
So you're saying the effective date would be October 1st?
Correct.
Not July 1st when the fiscal year begins?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to item number 3. Add $3 million all SGF for operational costs to implement the National 988 behavioral number. We're going to take the House position and concur with the House and delete the funding. Item 5. Add $20.5 million, including $8.2 million SGF to provide a 3% increase for the Medicaid reimbursement rates for the nursing facilities. We're going to take the House position and concur on that. Item number 6, add $3 million all SGF for the Senior Care Act. We're going to take the House position on that one, concur. Page 8, Kansas Department for Aging and Disability Services. Item number 10, add language directing the agency to establish a process for for certification of and funding for certified community behavioral health clinics in 2022. We would ask for the Senate position on that and do not add the language. Item number 11, add funding to continue the increase in the provider reimbursement rates for the Medicaid home and community-based service intellectually developmental disabled waiver for fiscal year 2022. We'd ask for the Senate position on that. That was 31 million. So we took your position in 21 and we asked for our position in 22. Item number 12, add funding and language directing the funding be used to increase the provider reimbursement rate for the specialized medical care T1000 service code from the current rate of $31.55 per hour for the in-home Medicaid care registered nurse licensed practical nursing services for this waiver. We would ask that you concur with the Senate position and add the 6.4 million. Other statewide adjustments. Item 1, add language directing the state agencies, with the exception of the post-secondary education institutions, to submit performance-based budgets with KSA 75371-8B for fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2023. The Director of Accounts and Reports shall lapse 2% from the appropriate funds for fiscal year 2023. The following items are not subject to lapse: SGF funding appropriated for human services, caseloads, expenditures. We will concur with the House modified position and review it omnibus. Item 4, delete 77.1 million all SGF for a 2% lapse of SGF appropriations and reappropriations, excluding debt service expenditures for all state agencies except the Department of Education. We would ask for the Senate position on that and do not delete the funding. Item 5, delete 83.9 million all SGF for a 2% lapse of the SGF appropriations and reappropriations. We would ask for the Senate position on that one also. And do not delete the funding. Page 9. State employee pay, item number 1. Delete the 31.5 million, including 14.3 million SGF, to remove the proposed 2.5% statewide salary adjustment recommendation. We would ask for you to concur with the Senate position. Do not delete the funding. And we would like to review at omnibus all the pay at omnibus.
We have a typo there. It should be delete the funding.
Sorry, typo. Delete the funding. We'd ask you to concur with the Senate and delete the funding and review it omnibus. It's been a long day. I'm just reading what's on the paper.
I'm just starting to go yippee.
Okay, page 9, Department of Corrections. Item number 1, add 1.5 million all SGF for the newly appropriated juvenile crime community prevention account for fiscal year 2022. We would ask for the Senate position on that and do not add the funding or the language. Item number 9, number 2. Item number 2 on page 9, delete the 1.5 million all SGF from the evidence-based juvenile programs account and make funds available in the new juvenile crime community prevention account. We would like to ask for the Senate position and do not delete the funding. Item 3, delete 300,000 all SGF from the evidence-based juvenile programs account to make the funds available in the juvenile transitional crisis center pilot project. We would like to keep the Senate position, ask that you do not delete the funding. Okay, moving to the bottom, Department of Education. Add 90,000 all SGF for the LOB state aid and add the language allowing USD 499 Galena to calculate the LOB using current year calculations. We would ask for the Senate position on that one. Page 10. Board of Pharmacy, item 1. We would ask that you take the Senate position and do not add the funding for the K-Tracks.
And I'm assuming all the items that are still open for education is the Senate position?
Correct.
Right.
Sorry, I missed them. Item 2, 3, 4 are Senate positions. And then we did item 1 on the pharmacy. Okay, item 2 on the pharmacy, delete the transfer from the Board of Healing Arts and the Board of Nursing that were intended to fund K-Tracks in 2023. We would ask for the Senate position on that and do not delete the transfers. Here again, this is the same thing. We're looking if the bill on the opioids goes through that we could use some funding on this, and so. Okay, moving down the page, State Bank Commission, item 1. Delete 194,888, all from the special revenue funds to remove proposed salary adjustments. We would ask for the Senate position on that again, and we'll review all this at omnibus. Kansas Department for Aging and Disability Services. Item 1, add language directing the agency to make no expenditures which impose a moratorium on the admissions to the state hospital. We would ask again for the Senate position and language. And the judicial branch would be Senate. Also on your white sheet at the bottom there, we would like to add $160,080 all SGF for KSU Polytech. They had received permission to sell some property, and I guess she's going to hand that out. Thank you. they sold some property, and we had twice passed legislation, and we didn't get the legislation. I'm not sure what happened to it, but anyway, it didn't get through. So when they sold that, they had to split that 80/20 with Capers. And so this would just be giving them the part that went to Capers. Makes them whole.
Okay, so, and I remember this because when we came back for sine die, I think the vice chair actually introduced a bill that day in the House. That's when he was a House member then.
Okay. So you,
So I'm aware of what occurred in regards to the sale and what is statutorily stated. The only thing is, do you want this in fiscal year 2021?
you know,
I just want to be cautious because
Sure.
I think we need to state the year that we're going to allocate the funds, because otherwise, the way this reads, it could almost be like an annual allocation of an additional $160,000. So I'll just make sure it's a one-time payment.
I don't disagree.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a one-time payment, and yes, 2021.
2021? Okay, thank you.
Okay, and the last item we have on our white sheet there is the KSU ESARP. We would like to propose this language that we give you earlier. I didn't know we separated it at the bottom earlier, so anyway, we'd ask that you would accept that restriction on masks. I know we give you a lot of stuff here, but, you know, that's trying to make something work for all of us. You have any questions?
Actually, I don't have any questions, but Representative Wolfmore does, so Representative Wolfmore.
Thank you very much. My first question is on the second amendment about the mask. Is this something that K-State has favored or agreed to or was aware of, or?
Well, I know there was some phone calls that they were trying to get this all figured out, but it sounds like they didn't get it figured out. And what we were told at the Rock Springs camp, they'll have to wear masks if they're riding a horse or doing anything outside. The only time they wouldn't be required to wear a mask is if they were sleeping or eating or in a swimming pool. So that's why this was brought.
And then my second question is, did you, go ahead.
Senator Hawk.
I just wanted to make a short comment on that. I did contact K-State about that, and I'm not exactly wild about this language, and I don't think they are either. They were to release, I think today, a position statement in extension that decisions would be made locally about where masks were required or not required. And so that may have been made today.
No, they're making a statement today. That's what Tom just said.
The difficulty they had is the person who was in charge of doing that had been furloughed. And so we had quite a few furloughs at K-State. So anyway, they felt like they had this covered. Obviously, some other people don't think it's covered, and the example was at Rock Springs. They didn't think that the K-State language would cover that.
So you're just, I'm sorry if, so you're saying K-State is okay with this language?
No.
Okay.
I think they felt like they had made a policy statement this week that they were going to announce Monday or Tuesday, and they were not able to get that done because of the personnel issue, and they didn't feel like they needed this language. Okay. I'm just saying there's some other people that don't think everything was covered.
Okay.
To give you the full story.
I appreciate that.
Thank
And then
you.
my second question was, I noticed in the two items about the CCBHCs, and I know we passed it in the House. I thought you passed that in the Senate also, but you didn't agree to the language, so there might be more going on that I know about. Let me see.
Which item, what page and number?
Let me find it. I think it was page. Well, page 7, number 10, add language requiring the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. Sorry, I got to talk into this since other people. Add language requiring the Kansas Department of Health and Environment to establish a prospective payment system. And I know we passed that, and I thought the Senate passed that also.
It hasn't passed the Senate, but it's in House Bill 2208, and I believe it's going to be in conference. Oh, it did.
That's what
Oh, it did pass, and it's in conference.
Okay, so that's the holdup for that.
Right.
And maybe that'll get resolved once it comes through conference there,
Right.
hopefully.
Senator Hawk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had asked what the fiscal note might be on that, too. And I think that was some of our hesitancy on the Senate side. It was $40.8 million and 16.3 SGF. And I'm not sure if those numbers exactly go with that bill, but that may be something we really have to consider at omnibus if there is that high a fiscal note to that.
Yeah, and I don't know if those are the, we did a phased-in approach, so I don't know if those are the phased-in numbers. That's the new fiscal note, but we can talk about that one. Thank you so much.
I think it's important for us to be clear if we put that in the budget, what the cost is, and we
I
weren't clear
agree.
about that.
Thank you.
Representative Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Going back to the language for the K-State mask language. So you said they put out a statement, but for local, but that, does that make any difference in Rock Springs?
Senator Hawk.
Thank you. I don't know. I would assume it would, but as I said, I think some of the people who are concerned about the mask requirements that 4-H might extend, we're not sure if the policy statement applied to Rock Springs or not, or if it was just for local, county, and district 4-H activities.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Sorry I can't answer that, but
Yeah, we'll find out some more about it then, so thanks.
Any further questions from the House? All right. Not seen any. And I'm assuming Senator Clay's had to carry the bill on the floor. Is that where he's at? Okay.
Yes.
Well, since you pretty much hashed out all the items on this white piece of paper, we'll go and discuss those. And I would say, let's try to be back by 6:30.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
See you then.